Oh, what's going on, everybody? It's Mike over at mikesmusicmethod.com. Guys, here we are. I'm doing a live stream, so a bit of a different format. I got this tab floating on top of the screen that I'll get away from in a second. But welcome. We're going to do a John Prine tune today, 6 o'clock news. This song is awesome. Thank you, Kevin. Kevin went out of his way to sponsor the tab, and I thought Kevin is such a sweetheart. We're becoming internet buddies that I thought, you know what, I'm going to not just do the tab for him, but I will live stream it. This saves a lot of editing time. Believe it or not, editing my videos is like the bulk of my time spent, which is kind of annoying. Like, I'm pretty good at tabbing out the songs. I mean, that can take a really long time too, but the editing is like a real, it can be a drain. So we'll see how this goes. I've done one before. I thought it worked out pretty well. I'm going to show you, if you're new to Mike's Music Method, we are going to walk through note by note all of John Prine's 6 o'clock news. So let's just dive in. We are in standard tuning. I am doing the live version. Let me tell you what live version it is. It's from Sessions at West 54th. So the studio version is a little different. I'm doing the live version because his guitar is much cleaner. It's easier to hear. And I'll be honest, I like Prine's voice way better later in his career. It just sounds nicer. And if anyone's in the chat, drop me a hello, and I'll get to it when I can, but I am going to kind of treat this like just a video here where we're mainly focused on, learning this like we always do. So let's dive in. Again, no capo, standard tuning. This song isn't too complicated. I should always say this. I have a Travis Picking playlist. If you go to Mike's Music Method, my main YouTube page, you can check out the playlist. Check out the Travis Picking playlist. Those first 8 or so videos are in order of, I don't want to say difficulty, but if you watch those first 8, you can learn how to pick, Travis pick from step 1. And this is not a real complicated piece, but for John Prine, even though it's kind of basic, man, it's a little bit confusing because he's always varying the pattern. And you'll see as we move along here. So to those people in the chat, say hello and grab your guitar and let's dive in. And please give me feedback. I'm trying to use this, but I need to be like even size here. So let me know what's going on. Hopefully this all fits. You know what? I can even zoom in. Look at this. Look at this high-tech stuff we're dealing with here. Maybe that's the best. That makes me way too small, doesn't it? I think this is better. So on that opening measure, check this out. My right hand is going to be doing 6, 3, 6, 3, 6, 3. And I'm walking through the chord here. Or walking up to the G chord. So I got open, 1, 2. Then we're going to the 3rd fret to get the G chord. So to see it all together, remember I'm doing, how can I fit all this? 6, 3, 6, 3, 6, 3. And I'm walking up that open, 1, 2. And the rhythm, it's a pickup, so it's 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. So that's measure 1. Let's do it together. 3, 4. Chris says, hi Mike, love this one. It is a great one. Let's thank Kevin for sponsoring the tab. You can do that over at mikesmusicmethod.com under the sponsor a song tab. And Love Jen says, hello Mike, just stopping by to tell you how much I appreciate your work. You really make a difference in the finger picking. Thank you. Really appreciate that. And yeah, it's awesome. Thank you. All right, so then we get to this very simple first full measure of the song. I just call it measure 2, just to not confuse people. I always treat the pickup as a measure. Now I got a G chord. Simple enough, basic G chord. Remember when we're finger picking, we almost never need this middle finger down, so I'm just doing this one. And we also need the pinky to get the high one. Guys, most folk players are not playing the G chord like this. I know some play it that way with the middle finger, but almost always do the ring. So let's look at the right hand here. We're gonna do 6 to the pointer finger on 2, then thumb on 4, and then the middle finger on the top string. So we got thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. I suppose you could use pointer for all of it, but I like varying it up a little bit. So thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. And again, it's just a G chord here. And those string sets are going to be 6, 2, 4, 1. That's the first half of that measure. 6, 2, 4, 1. Then the second half of the measure is just 6, 2, 4, 3. And this is what's confusing about the song, right? Most players aren't going to use the ring finger, which means you're going to have to vary where you're using these. So if you're going to do thumb, middle, thumb, pointer. Right now your pointer has to do double duty and get to the third string. And so I will say right off the bat, that's probably the most confusing aspect of learning this song is how often he's varying the melody. Is it on the first string, the second, or the third? And how are you going to handle that? Feel free to move your middle finger more, or feel free to use your pointer finger to do double duty. There's no hard and set way, but I would maybe commit, like, I'm mainly going to do pointer on the G and the B string, and my middle always on the second, or vice versa. The middle can do the top two, pointer just stays on the third string. Your call. So after measure, well, let's play all of measure 2 here. 3, 4, thumb, middle, thumb, pointer, pointer. One more time, 3, 4. Brilliant. Got that down. Let's go to measure 3. This is an E minor with the B in the bass. And so what that means is all that I need in the left hand is this 5th string down. That's it. On the 2nd fret of the A string. Cool. Everything else is open. And what I'm doing here is I'm starting. My thumb's going to be 5 to 3, 5, and then I do 5 again. And I'm going to lift the left hand there. So let's do the beginning though. What I got here is 5, 2, thumb on 3, middle finger on 1. So the strings are 5, 2, 3, 1. That's the beginning of that measure. 5, 2, 3, 1. Second half, I'm doing 5, 2. And I'm doing 5 again, but I'm lifting my left hand, so I play that open. 5, 2, lift it, 5, 3. And that ending, I'm just lifting, playing open on that A string. So the whole measure nice and slow. 3, 4. 3, 4. Nice. Now remember, if you're watching this not live, but after the fact, as most of you are, just go to mikesmusicmethod.com and you can download the tab. Believe it or not, I'm so insane that all my tabs are, I don't want to say they're free, because I want you to follow the honor system. But if you're broke as a joke, believe it or not, you can still actually get my tabs and all this content for nothing. But please sign up for the All Access Atkins plan. I got so much cool stuff there. I won't go into it now. The John Nickler, $5 a month. The 2 token tab, $2 a month, and you get access to all this awesome stuff. And honestly, it's I say this all the time, but I got to keep saying it's your guys' support that makes this stuff possible. So please, I've got like I think it's almost 1,600 people now signed up for free. Oh, come on. If I could get, all of you guys even giving $1 a month, that'd be unbelievable for the channel. So you get the idea. If you think you can't give, come on, $2 a month goes a long way. If I could get 1,000 people giving $5 a month, do the John Nickler plan. You get what I'm saying. All right, let's keep going though. That's the donation pitch. I did it early, and I'll stop harassing you about it. So now we're on this C chord, basic C chord in the left hand, nothing fancy here. And let's look through this, what we're doing here. The thumb is, again, a little tricky because we got 5, 3, 5, 4. And let's add everything. We got the string sets are going to be 5, 2, 3, 1. And that was thumb, pointer, thumb, middle, 5, 2, 3, 1. Then the second half of the measure is 5, 2, thumb goes to 4, then 3. Real confusing. 5, 2, you can do the middle or pointer on that too. Thumb on 4, pointer on 3. So the whole measure together, 3, 4. 3, 4. Yeah. Hey, Nate, what's up, buddy? I saw you called. I was with the kids. I could have called you, but I was like, I'm gonna live stream instead. It's great seeing you on here, man. What up, Nate? The thumb is also my favorite appendage. And everyone let me know how this looks in terms of the tab and my hands. And, I can't size it too differently on StreamYards, or StreamLabs, StreamYards. So this is where we're at. So that all sounds good. Now what's cool about this one, I know it's a little bit confusing with the string sets, but I promise once we get like 4 more measures down, you guys basically have the whole song. So let's tackle measure 5. Again, it's just a real simple G chord. All I need is ring and pinky. Don't need to worry about that middle finger. And we've got 6, 2, 4, 3. Thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. Right? Then the second half of the measure is just thumb, thumb, pointer, thumb, thumb, pointer, 6, 4, 3. So the whole measure together, 3, 4. And check out these lines down below. I think you can see my mouse here, right? 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. That can be really helpful in just humming the rhythm before you even play it. Like if you get the rhythm in your head, you know it's thumb and thumb and thumb. Thumb and thumb and thumb and thumb, thumb and. That can really help place the rhythm and feel of it. Measure 6 is identical. And guys, always know if you're watching this, obviously after the fact, the timestamps are down below. So I will timestamp this thing. I believe I can do that to a live stream, so that way you can jump around. Back to this E minor / B, which is exactly the same as we've seen before. And I believe this C, no, it's not exactly the same, but look, you guys can figure it out. Here he's doing 5, 2, 3, 1, and that's thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. Then the second half of the measure is just thumb, thumb, and. And notice in measure 4, he did a 3-note pattern with his thumb, and here he's just sticking to 2. If it's a live version, there's going to be more variety. Prine does this kind of thing all the time. So the whole measure, 3, 4, thumb, pointer, thumb, middle, thumb, thumb, middle, thumb, pointer, thumb, middle, thumb, thumb, middle. When we sing it, I always tell my students this, it's awesome to learn these things exact, because that's how we get better. We get better through going, oh, how are other pickers handling these things? Oh, that's a unique variation I don't ever put into my playing. But once you learn it and you get better at it, then when I'm singing a song, I'm not actually like looking at the tab. I don't necessarily memorize the verses of the song. I'm kind of winging it based on what my own right hand likes to do. Because let's be honest, everyone's attention is mainly on your voice at that point. And it doesn't matter if you do 1, 2, 3, and 4, and, or if you do 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. No one knows. It hardly makes a difference. So again, good to learn this and go really slow, but when you actually practice it, don't feel like you got to be super exact with how we're doing it. Sorry, I don't know how to share my screen again. I want this one, don't I? Hey, there we go. Cool, so we were back at that G, which, oh no, we haven't done this. No, I'm getting lost. We're on measure 9, aren't we? Yeah, measure 9. This D chord. All right, a little bit more to talk about here. But then again, it'll be a lot of repeats after this. We're going to do a lot of color in the left hand. We have a normal D. He's going to lift the middle finger to make it like a D sus chord. That E is now open. I can move my hand here. And then he lifts it to make that top string open. Then he's going to put it back down. And at the very end, we have what I call a open string cheat, where that last note, it should be an A in the D chord, but he lifts it up so we get a little room to move to the next chord. Open string cheat. It's also an anticipation because that note G is not in a D chord, but it's anticipating, the C chord that is to come. So this whole measure, maybe I can pretend I have a tiny guitar and then it can all fit on one screen. So we've got our thumb at the beginning here, measure 9. We're just doing thumb, pointer, thumb, middle, but that's open, so I'm lifting that there. Thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. And you'll notice quite a bit, like in the note to come, he'll brush a few of them. I like to brush with my pointer a little bit more. So what I'm doing here is thumb, pointer, which is 4, 2, 3, and then I'm kind of brushing the top 2. It's not in the tab here, but then you'll see it here. Back to 4, then my middle finger goes down, and I brush again. Then thumb on 4, and I lift the chord, and my pointer does the 3rd string. So be mindful of that last note. So check out just the thumb. It's 4, 3, 4, 4, and then it's an and at the end. That's not a thumb hit there on that string. So it goes from thumb, 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 thumb on 4 again. And that last note's the pointer finger. So if we do the beginning again, it's thumb, pointer, thumb. And I didn't write a brush in the tab. You can brush it or just hit that one string. Second half of the measure is thumb on 4, brush the top 2. That finger's got to be down now, normal D. So thumb on 4, brush up, thumb on 4 again. Then the pointer hits the 3rd string as I lift up the chord. A little tricky, let's try it slow. 3, 4. 3, 4. Beautiful. This is weird without me stopping, because usually I stop there because I know I'm going to edit it, but I got to keep rolling. C chord. Seen this before, except the little addition of a hammer on at the beginning. And what I tend to do here is I'll literally just hammer into the whole chord. Because to think like C chord, then I've got a hammer, that's a whole extra step of extra things. And I wouldn't do that. I would go straight to like just hammering into the whole chord, even though I'm only hitting the 5th string. Easier for the brain, and this happens a lot in songs. So get used to simplifying that. And besides that, we've kind of seen this. 5th string, I'm going to hammer into that. Thumb goes to the 3rd. Then I'm brushing up with my pointer finger here. Thumb back to 5, back to 3, then just open. So it's thumb hammer, thumb brush, thumb, thumb, and on the 1st string. So 3, 4. Excellent. We go right back to the D. And here it does sound like he's clearly brushing both. Brush, brush. Otherwise the measure is exactly the same as the previous one. So this is measure 12 now. 12 is the same as 10 was. Just keep rolling through this. You guys get the idea. Give you a headache as I toggle. This D is going to be identical again. Then we interrupt it with a G chord, measure 14. And this is awesome. I really like this part. So we got a normal G, but we're going to walk. So the bass line he's doing here, the thumb is 6, 4, open on 5, 2nd fret on 5. This can be hard for a lot of my students because they're not used to the bass being providing the melody. 6, 4, 5th string, 5th string, 6, 4, 5, 5. Someone should just like make me a guitar this big so then I could do these live streams. Wouldn't that be hilarious? And the whole thing though is 6, 2, 4, 3. And I'm doing thumb, middle, thumb, pointer. 6, 2, 4, 3. Then I lift up my hand here to be honest, and I do thumb, pointer, 5, 3. They're both open. Then I do the same thing again, but I put the 2nd fret down on the A string. Let's just try that whole measure. 3, 4. One more time. 3, 4. You're a frickin' genius. We've seen the C before. Is this D new? Is it fitting on the screen for you guys? I gotta move it over. No, it's not. Yeah, this one's a little bit different because we end with this awesome little walk here. Let's go, Mike. Slow practice always works. George! Hey, George! Amazing. I hope you're still here. How's it going, dude? And what up, other Nate? We got a lot of Nates here today. Slow practice. So I've said this a million times and I'll say it again. Do yourself a favor. Learn things before you practice them. I say it in every video and I will continue to do that. Learn before you practice stuff. And we can even do a little, oh, it's Caustic. Hey, what's happening, dude? My 2 favorite Nates. How are you guys? And we'll talk about how to practice a little bit later, but let's keep going here because we have a few new ideas, then I promise it's a bunch of repeat. So if we look at this measure of D, it looks the same as like before. Thumb, pointer, thumb, middle, which is just 4, 2, 3, 1. Then check out this little walk. I'm gonna go all the way. I'm gonna lift the chord here. You could like have this one in the bass already. Or sorry, you're gonna have to move it to the bass, but I think it's easier to just move it. Nah, you know, I take that back. I would rethink this maybe. A little bit confusing, and I don't know how I'd handle this, but let me show you the picking. We're just doing thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. The strings there are 4, 2, 3, 1. Then check out this walk. We have open to 2 on the 3rd string, so it's just thumb, pointer. But then it flips, and we have 2 here on the 6th string and open on the 3rd. But the ending's just thumb, pointer, 6, 3, 6, 3. It's just a matter of, you can keep the D chord down, then throw the thumb in the top and do that at the end. So stay on the D, 6, 3, 6, 3. Or you can do, then just move like your middle finger there, or your pointer finger. The more I practice it, I think it's easier with the thumb, but it's up to you. I know a lot of people don't like using the thumb over the top. So here's the whole measure. 3, 4, 3, 4. And that might be too fast, right? Take your time, pause the video, learn it before you practice it. Let's keep moving. So we're actually still on the intro, believe it or not. The intro, it kind of like runs through the whole tune. This G, I don't think we need to focus really much. Then thumb, thumb, middle, thumb, pointer, thumb, 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 middle, thumb, pointer, thumb. Nothing crazy. Here we have our first pinch in the song. I don't think we've had a pinch yet. So I'm still in that G chord. I'm pinching 6 and 1 at the same time. And then we have the walk. That's exactly the same in measure 1. Pinch. I'm walking up just like I did in the beginning. If you forgot, timestamps will be down below. Double back. Now, that is it. What I recommend you all do it is you really gotta do that slow and don't move on until that feels really, really easy. And if any of that is hard, I'll make a whole video on this, but this is totally invaluable. I personally do this every time I'm learning a song that is pushing beyond my skill set. Sorry, I keep clicking the wrong buttons here. But let's take this as an example here, the beginning of the verse, because I'll show you this in a second. But what I'm doing here is really, I'm going to just play the thumb and make sure I just have the thumb. Right, my thumb's doing 6, 4. Can I locate that in the tab, right? Remember, it's the beginning of the 2, beginning of the 2, beginning of the 2, sorry, here. And then this one alone, right? So you can look underneath to see exactly where the thumb is in a Travis Pick song. At least like 95% of the time, right? So once the thumb feels good, I'm only going to add the very first melody note that happens with I or M. So here it would be thumb and thumb, but then I'm going to continue to finish the measure because I want everything to be in context. Thumb and thumb, thumb, thumb. Nate says I'm chilling, a little bit gassy, a little bit sassy. Yeah, thanks for the announcement. All right, so once we add that first melody note, then I'll add the second. Thumb, and I'll just finish off in good rhythm. Right, make sure my brain understands that. Then I'll add the fourth melody note. Thumb, third, second, third, third, second, third. Thumb, pointer, thumb, middle, thumb, pointer. And no joke, that is ridiculously invaluable. To do that anytime you're coming across a hard measure. Just play the thumb, only add the first melody note, but make sure you finish the measure through with the thumb. Play that 8 times, 20 times, however many. Then add the second melody note, but always play it in time with the thumb finishing the measure. Holy cow, does that demystify really complex passages. So there's my tip for the day. We're going to cruise through this. We've seen this, so now we start singing, "Want to had a baby" to the E minor. And it's almost exactly the same. We go to a C chord. Look here, it's a little bit different. We've got 5, 4, 2, 5, 3, 4, 3, 5, 4, 2, 5, 3. Now again, cool to learn a new little pattern. I probably wouldn't think to do that, right? Double up on the 3rd string at the end. Prine does it. You can put it in your catalog. But if it's confusing you to memorize this weird one compared to the other ones, don't worry about it. When you're singing it, do whatever comes natural to your fingers. Measure 22, we've seen. Measure 23, same idea. 24, we've seen all this before. So we're going to keep scrolling through it. We'll talk about singing in a second. 25 is exactly the same as a measure of C we just talked about above. This D, right, it's kind of that brush idea, but without the brush. Otherwise, it's exactly the same as all the other Ds where it did that. Another measure of C, easy. Now we have the brush here. Color child, James Lewis. Go back to the C in 29, 30, back to the D. A G chord with the same walk that we talked about, that open 2. Nothing new. Back to a C that we've seen before. Bear with me, this is getting a little silly to scroll like this. Back to the D without a brush. Again, ever so slightly different. There's just, yeah, there he hits the second string instead of brushing the thing. But again, you don't have to do it that way. It's not like you got to memorize all this exact stuff. 34, another G. 35, that same walk on the G. 36, back to a C. I think we saw that pattern, super easy. 5, 2, 4, 3, nothing to fuss about. Let's keep going. Again, the same D without the brush to a normal G. And boom, guys, that's basically the whole thing. We got this little pinch walk again that we talked about. That's it. The song would go back to measure 19 because it repeats a verse. Then it would actually go back to the measure 2, and there's an instrumental break. I forget what instrument is doing it. It's not a harmonica. I can't remember. Then we have another verse and a chorus. I'll have to fix this tab. I don't know why it looks like this. Another verse and chorus, followed by another instrumental intro where he does the guitar solo. Then a final verse where you would play through the whole verse, but instead of going all the way to measure 38, you would replace it with the coda. So let's talk about the coda here, and then we will talk about singing it and how to go about doing that. So here's our coda. I don't have the tab up now, but once you're watching this, not live stream, it'll be there. So 42, check this out. This is really cool. We got a G chord. It's just 6, 3, 4, 2, thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. Then I'm walking down to the 2nd fret. You can call that a G / F sharp. Right, we're just changing the bass note. 6, 3, 4, 2, 6, 3, 4, 2, thumb, pointer, thumb, middle, thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. Awesome. Then we got an E minor here. Thumb is just doing 6, 4. But again, we have a weird pattern of the melody notes. It's 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'm doing thumb, pointer, thumb, middle, thumb, pointer, thumb, pointer. There's sometimes too where I'll actually do the ring finger. Right, pointer's here, middle's there, ring is there. No set way though. You figure it out on your own. Let's play it real slow. 3, 4. 6, 3, 4, 1, 6, 2, 4, 3. Beautiful. Back to a really easy C. Sorry. Thumb, middle, thumb, pointer, thumb, middle, thumb, pointer. We're nearly there. You guys are doing awesome. This is where he just tags that. Spend the night with me. Back to a D. We've seen that. That's that weird one where you got the, the 2 D strings in a row with the thumb. We walk back down again. Then to the E minor, which I believe is identical. We got this here again. Yeah, that's identical. E minor. Back to the C, which is the same. He tags it again. Come on, baby. Back to the D. Sorry, I went too quick. Oh, this one's new because he's about to end it. So check out this. This is measure 53. We have the G, 6, 3, 4, 2. But then we make it a C / G. So we hold that G down, but the other 2 go in place like you're going to play a C chord. But that ring finger doesn't move from the low G. And we have to lift it back up at the end. So we're in that chord. We do 6, 2. You can do pointer or middle. Thumb, pointer, 6, 2. Thumb goes to 4. And then we go back to 2, but we lift the chord. So the end of the measure is 6, 2, 4, 2 is lifted. So you got to get used to that trick. If you guys are old to Mike's Music Method, this is in every frickin' folk song, that G to the C / G. It's so beautiful. So 3, 4, G chord, put it down, lift it up, 3, 4. and we end it like this. Cool, so let's do that. It's just 6-3, thumb pointer. Then I lift the G, thumb pointer. So 6-3, 6-3, and I'm just lifting that ring finger. Then I just walk down the chord, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. You guys are animals. Beasts, I tell you. Excellent job. That is the tune. But in usual fashion, let's talk about how to sing it. And then at the end, we will do a slow run through. And remember, timestamps are down below if you need to jump around. Well, Felix says, hey, Mike, I love your videos. You're really helping the guitar community. Dude, thank you. I really am trying my best. I used to be very passionate about songwriting, and I still am. But it's never made me money. So that's one thing that stings a little bit. But as I get older, I'm spending more time teaching. And of course, it is my livelihood, so I'm focused on it in that regard. But like, it's kind of cool. I'm becoming quite passionate about educating and education. And I've always been a little bit, but now it's like a real passion, almost like songwriting used to be for me. Like, I really want to teach people better, and I want to give you guys the bug and the knowledge, because it's like such a joy in my life, and it's been so helpful and cathartic. That just like I used to be like addicted to songwriting, I'm kind of getting addicted to like trying to teach you guys better. And with my private students, and yeah, I don't say this enough. I teach private lessons on Zoom, so feel free to sign up. I've got 6-week-long workshops. I'll probably be running another one in mid-September. That's like 6 weeks. We meet once a week for an hour. Fingerpicking Frontiers. Hit workshops on mikesmusicmethod.com. Also started doing group lessons. That's also going to be capped at 6 people. But we show up every Saturday, and people can bring questions, and we just, that one's more loose, right? The workshop is, I'm giving you a whole bunch of material, and I'm curating the whole thing. The group lessons are more loose, and it's like learning with other people. It'll be a little cheaper for you, because it's not one-on-one, but you get the group, and that's going to be a great way to learn as well. Plus, if you have the All Access Atkins membership on my website, I am starting to upload a whole guitar course up there. It'll be like 25 lessons. Each lesson is thick, though. And it's just going to be what I recommend, I think it takes to just be an all-around good musician and all that kind of stuff. So my website's got a lot on that All Access Atkins, but I also offer workshops and private lessons, and I'm just excited about it. So thank you, Felix. I would love if you could do a lesson by Benjamin Todd. Oh yeah, I've done a few of his, or I guess just one. I take that back. Do me a favor, email me, Felix, because I'll forget this. Email me, Benjamin Todd's Wyoming. I can't say I've heard it. Let's get back to it. Thanks for the aside. I do want to push my website because, it's great. I would love to get enough support where this could be my main focus, and I'd be able to do more tutorials and stuff like that. I'll never stop teaching, but in order to make bread, I've got to teach a ton of private lessons. But the more you guys support, even if it's $5 a month, $2 a month, it means a lot to keep this going. And basically, it's just buying me more time to focus on the channel, right? After I put my, 4 kids to bed at night, and it's been a long day of teaching, the last thing I want to do at like 9 o'clock is to come down here for like 3 more hours and edit video. And I do that, but it'd be nice if I was paid so I could do that during the daytime hours instead of the after hours. You get what I'm saying? So let's keep going. Let's talk about singing it. So I've got to change my little tab here. Bear with me. Stop screen share. Present. One moment. Yeah, Felix. Yeah, please send me Mike. It's just mikesmusicmethod@gmail.com. So I'm using Ultimate Guitar. I hate this site, but I promise later on I'll put a chord chart up on my website because these are usually pretty darn bad. I found one that was decent just because I didn't want to take the time to do this. So whenever I am learning to sing, I always just strum. Wandered had a baby in 1951 to make sure I have the phrasing. The father was a stranger, and a stranger was the son. Call that child James Lewis. Call these rooms a home. Changing all them diapers. I'm putting kids to bed. Polish all that chrome. Come on, baby, spend the night with me. And if you can't get that phrasing, there's no way you're going to be able to finger pick and do it. Another thing just to do whenever you're sitting around listening to music, driving, like while you're singing along, just do what like a kid does, right? Like they teach you in, you know, 3rd grade music class. Just like clap your hands to the downbeat and make sure you can sing all the syncopation without screwing up that downbeat. Only when that feels good do you want to start adding just the thumb. Can you guys see me okay, or am I sharing the whole? I guess you don't need to see me. It's probably better to see these chords. So now I'm just using the thumb. Wanda had a baby in 1951, and you don't even have to pick the right strings. The father was a stranger, and the stranger was the son. I'm after you playing the rhythm with the thumb more than I am the exact thumb notes. But you get the idea. Once that feels good, the next option I would say is not to go in and dive into the whole song, but the next option would be to pick a simple repeating pattern, right? Again, throw the tab out. It's great to learn the tab to get better, but at this point, throw it out and be like, all right, well, can I just play thumb, pointer, can I play thumb, pointer, thumb, middle? It could be any pattern. It could be that busy, or it could be, can I do thumb, thumb, pointer, thumb, 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 pointer, thumb. And what we're after is looping some kind of independent rhythm from the vocal line. And can I loop that slightly more complicated right hand rhythm while I'm still singing? So again, that might look like, where is it here? That's way too tiny, isn't it? How do I make it bigger? Boom, okay. So that might look like thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. Wanda had a baby in 1951. The father was a stranger, and the stranger was the son. Call that child James Lewis. Call these rooms a home. And man, most people, right, aren't going to be able to tell that that isn't what Prine is doing. I mean, maybe if you got a good ear, you can tell that's a little bit too busy. There's not enough space, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and it's a bit busy. But it's pretty darn close. So that's what I'm getting at. When you're singing songs, and especially doing the verse that doesn't have any independent guitar melody, just be a little bit loose. Don't obsess on the tab when you start singing it, because you want to just learn to be loose and do it on your own. And that's what we're after when we're singing it. I don't think we need to do more. That's it, right? C, D, you guys get it. Now, if you wanted to do it spot on exact with the tab, I would then pull the tab up and stare at that tab, and just like you learn to finger pick it measure by measure, you're gonna kind of want to learn to finger pick, or to sing this thing measure by measure. So what I would do is I would jump to 17, 18. Let me share this with you real quick, just so you get the idea. And then we'll do some slow run-throughs together. Guys, I'm so slow with this. There's too many options. Share screen. I need to share a window. Boom. Share. Cool, now you guys see that. So we're going to sing, right, what are we singing? Wanda had a baby in 1951. The father was a stranger, and a stranger was the son. So I might start this slow. Wanda had a baby. Wanda had a baby. Wanda had a baby. And that can be hard to develop that independence between, right? Because some of those are eighth notes with the vocal. Some of them are like a swing feel on like a 16th note. Wanda had a baby. One thing I recommend doing even before this is a great way to get better at playing and singing is just to start to talk while you're playing the guitar. Like if you can formulate normal sentences, they're naturally going to be at different rhythms, have different stopping points, and it's way more similar to singing than one would think. So if you can play a pattern and talk, you're onto something. And can I play along with this Prine song, get the rhythms right while I'm talking to you guys? That's one way. Another way, again, is just be tedious. Wanda had a baby. And if you get lost, literally get a pen and pencil, tap your hand, Wanda had a baby, and just determine exactly where you want some of those notes to go. Maybe the word baby you're having trouble with. Is it on a downbeat, an upbeat? Wanda had a baby. Is that the downbeat of 1 or the 4? Right? I'm singing a little different than Prine. But I would go back and listen to Prine, make some notes, mark some things up, and then eventually, Wanda, and always be physical, right? I'm always moving my body up and down to feel those up and down beats. Wanda had a baby in 1951. The father was a stranger, messed it up there. Got a scroll, and the stranger was the son. Call that child James Lewis. Call these rooms a home. Changing all them diapers. I love that little walk there. So cool. Let's do that again. 3, 4. Changing all them diapers. Polish all that chrome. Come on, baby. I know the words. Spend the night with me. Easier said than done. Go slow, go at your own tempo, and you'll get it. You guys are awesome. All right, let's do some slow run-throughs. Let me check the chat real quick. Hey, Mike, I learned Buckets of Rain with your video all last week. Now I need another guitar that I can keep and drop E at all times. Open E, they call it. Open E, by the way. That's awesome to hear, Larvesh. I'm glad to hear that. One little trick, I don't know if I mentioned it in that video, but maybe I later learned this trick. But tune it down to open D, and then just throw a capo on the 2nd fret. I've never had an issue, but I guess sometimes. Anytime you're like tuning things higher, you're just more likely to break a string. Also, if you have an old guitar, some guitars don't like the extra tension. Larvesh, I know what you meant. I know you know it's open E. I'm not trying to criticize you. But everyone says it's a little more gentle on the guitar than tuning things up. Open E doesn't seem like we're adding too much extra tension to me. But do open D and then just capo the 2nd fret. I don't know. That's what I've been told. I'm not certain of that. But dude, I'm glad to hear that's not an easy song. It's quite awesome. If that ever feels easy, learn "Leave the Light On" by Chris Smither. And holy cow, that guy's doing some crazy double stops like Dylan does, but to a next level in the open tuning. It's quite beautiful. Yeah, thanks, man. I'm glad you're learning from the channel. It's freaking awesome. It's amazing. I'm almost at 20K subs, guys. We got to have a 20K sub party. Maybe we'll do it right in the middle of September. I know I'm inching up on that number, and I just never thought the channel would grow this much and get that far. David says, I love this song. Very difficult and poignant. Did you hear Prine's story of how he wrote it? Oh, no. Send me that link. I would love to listen to that. Mike'sMusicMethod@gmail.com. Yeah, hardest one I've learned so far. We'll check it out. Well, yeah, if Buckets of Rain is the hardest, give yourself like a year before you try and do that Smither tune. Don't do it to yourself. Other really cool open tunings are Colorado Girl by Townes Van Zandt, Payday by Mississippi John Hurt. I know I've got some other ones in here. There's another early Dylan, not Moonshiner. I Was Young When I Left Home is another beautiful one. One Too Many Mornings, gorgeous song. He's in a weird tuning in that one. Guys, I have an admission. That's the only song I ever cheated on. I cheated on that song. It was the only damn song that I tried so many different tunings. And I could play it, but I knew there were moments where like Dylan was hitting another string that was impossible in my tuning. So I freaking used the internet and I looked it up and I cheated. And I'm just kind of ashamed of myself. So I cheated to learn One Too Many Mornings. It's like A, what's the tuning? E, A, C sharp, E, A, E. It's like open A or something. Who the frick messes around in open A? And it's like the only Dylan song that I know of where he does it. So one time I cheated on a song. Otherwise, you know, I probably obsessed to an unhealthy degree about figuring all this crap out myself. Anyway, you could have skipped all that. The timestamps are down below when this gets put up for real. But let's do the slow run-throughs together. I'm not going to show my hands. You know what? I will. I'm going to show... Well, no, you're not going to be able to read it, guys. So I'm going to show, I'm just going to show the whole tab. You've seen my hands enough during it, and we'll just play it slow together so you have me to follow along with. So let's share a window. Share that. Does it do me small automatically? Oh, this is beautiful. Yeah, and I'll just put my left hand, I'll put my right hand super close. You guys know what chord changes are, right? I'm not going to be able to fill all this, so we'll break it up into a few different ways here. Hopefully that's big enough. Remember, mikesmusicmethod.com, you can snag all of this stuff. We're going to have a rest at the beginning. Otherwise, is everything fitting okay here? You guys can see me. Yeah, let's kind of zoom up on my right hand here. Let's go from the top here, measure 1. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. Messed it up already. Cool, let's scroll and we'll keep going, end this intro and start the verse here. 17, 3, 4. Pinch. Head of a baby. I missed some notes again. 1951. Father's stranger. Even reading it, you'll notice sometimes I'll miss an and beat or make up my own rhythm, and that's normal. 3, 4, strangers, son. Call that child James Lewis. Call these rooms on. Changing all them diapers. Come on, baby, spend the night with me. Brilliant. If anyone in the chat wants it slower, let me know. I'll do the Coda. And guys, yeah, any feedback on how I make these videos, if you guys are here, just like let me know if there's something you'd like to see, you know, a way I could do things differently. I'm always happy to hear feedback. Can we fit all this? Yeah, let's go from 42 up here. And he tags it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Along with me. E minor. Come on, baby. Spend the night with me. Cool. Rock and roll, guys. Beautiful. Let me know how this went. Again, it saves me a lot of time. The fact that I can just end this, you know, this one's what, 50 minutes? We did the tune. Whew, if this is okay and you guys find it acceptable, I'll do this for a few more because this honestly probably just saved me like 6 hours of time, at least, to go in, get all the tabs, screenshot it, edit it, cut it up, make it nice. So if this is acceptable, Mike's Music Method quality, let me know. Again, mikesmusicmethod.com. Please, monthly support, whether it's signing up on my website, Patreon, PayPal. Just please buy me time so I can keep doing what I do best, which is teaching you all fingerpicking and keeping these classic songs alive. Of course, anyone hard on cash, I promise you guys from day one that I'd make it available. I know a lot of people in tight financial dire straits, or even like high school students, right? I'll get emails sometimes from kids 13, 14 years old, clearly don't have jobs. And so I always want this content to be available, but just think of it like the honor system, right? $5 a song you learn, $5 a month, $10 a month. Maybe you can afford $50 a month. You're consuming that much of my content. That's the beauty of the value for value model. Pay what you can, but come on, I know 99% of y'all could throw your buddy Mike $2 a month. All right, enough of that. Thank you guys though. Barabadadaba says, wanted to learn finger picking in your vids, came up as a YouTube recommendation, opened up a new world, Mike. So many beautiful songs I've never heard of before. That's awesome, man. So even that kind of stuff, I know I just talked about the financial support, but the value for value is also, if you're hard on times, you can give me value back by like writing a freaking note like that guy just did. Really heartwarming. Those go a long way. Some of the emails I've gotten since starting this YouTube channel have been just really incredible joys in my life. And it's really nice to hear that I am actually making a difference in people's musical abilities, exposing them to great music that's out there. So I love hearing that, and that, thank you, man. That counts as value too. Appreciate that. Thanks, Mike. Great video and format. Yeah, 6 hours is a lot of time to save. Yeah, I know. I try not to count it, but man, working with like Premiere and editing, it ain't my strong suit. So it probably takes me longer than it would a pro. That's certainly the case. And I've learned a lot over the years of doing this, but it is still a fairly grueling process. No, not every video is going to take 6 hours. I don't want to exaggerate, but you know what I'm saying. It's several hours at least, and then the upload, whatever, done. That's it. You guys got it. Thank you, Kevin, for sponsoring this tab. Give you a minute, and it'll all be up on the website. I'll get to timestamps after I upload this to YouTube, and I'll do all that. Just give me a little bit of time. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Until next time, I'll try to make live streams a more common thing moving forward here. Be well, everybody. Peace.